that a firm has made a recent investment, so they've finalized an acquisition. They're at the early stages of building out the value creation plan. What should they be thinking about given the broader macroeconomic environment?
I think from a labor perspective, it's retention. So it does have some elements of employee engagement, spending a little bit more time on training and onboarding. And then from a process perspective, automation, of course, there is no single silver bullet solution for automation, but having a strategy which allows them to identify critical areas where they can introduce automation can make a difference.
I also think, just to add to that, Jason, I think where we have seen, and it's no surprise, that where there are capital intensive businesses really leveraging the capacity that they know they have, that they're not really using, because the demand levels are still pretty strong in several sectors, in many sectors, and the cost, especially in these days, and the time it takes for some of that capital to be deployed really makes it prohibitive, and not permits, but enables them to go look at it deeper. And we're seeing that a lot in a number of industries, from pharmaceuticals to ceramics to packaging to plastics. It's been across the board.
So are you saying there's a fair amount of, I shouldn't say, there are many companies where there's just untapped capacity, where they are not getting as much out of the existing, production spaces and people than they could be?
Absolutely. And I think it's been there, but now it's even more acute given the cost of capital has just increased in terms of being able to make that investment, number one, and also the speed element of it makes it also critical to be able to do that. And so being able to provide the true relevant and credible view that there is, let's call it a true potential for the business that's not perfection, but is well above where they are now. We're seeing that enable businesses to be able to take a 10, 20, 30% leap in a 1 to 2 quarter period in terms of their output off the same assets and people.
One other area where we do see, particularly when we get into a value creation with a firm which has just occurred, a portfolio company, is when you look at the overall value stream, it's very easy to find the waste from an outside perspective for us. But also we recognize in many cases simple things like availability of the machines, which is in OEE, how quick they are starting and how well they are reviewing performance and reacting to some of those issues. So in many cases, as Gary mentioned, we do help organizations get that immediate benefit within that first quarter if we do get an opportunity to get in and do the diagnostics collaboratively with the management team on site. And we have seen that immediately that they can integrate some of those foundational principles to get the output improvement while they are looking at the long-term capital expenses.
Out of curiosity, when you're talking about what are some of the most frequent forms of waste you find in that early stage of an investment? So, the firm's just made the investment and you're in there and you're finding waste and opportunities to increase capacity. What are some of the places you find them most? Is it process? Where is it?
Well, I'll start with the simple one, daily management. In many cases, whether it's a family-owned business or even a carve-out, typically they don't have a system which tells how the team is performing. In many cases, we call it hour by hour. And I've walked into multiple facilities where they report either as a weekly output or a monthly output. They don't have a visibility of how well the team is performing against the plan on a daily basis. And there is no visibility for how well the team's starting the day. These are simple things, but it does have an impact. So that's one area where we do see. Then in terms of responsiveness, how quick the team is able to resolve issues they are identifying during the day. So those two elements are much more impactful from creating that sense of urgency, but also providing an opportunity for them to find the waste pretty quickly.